This happened 2 or 3 years ago in a big US city. At the time, I was 22F. In college, I had an internship pretty far away from where I lived. I didn't have a car, so I took public transportation to get there, bus and multiple subways. I'd leave home around 6 a.m., so there usually weren't a lot of people about yet. For this reason, I always picked the busiest subway car that I could, just in case. I was sitting near the door on the subway, minding my business, when this huge guy got on board. Much bigger than me in both height and weight. He filled the doorway. He started walking up and down the aisle, half shouting at the passengers to ask for money and half talking to himself. He was carrying a big backpack. I did my best to ignore him and didn't look up at all. I was afraid that eye contact might provoke him. But I guess it didn't matter in the end. He parked himself right in front of me and proceeded to go on a tirade about how no one cared about him and his people. He didn't elaborate on what that meant, and how people like me, he kept referring to me as UBH, were the problem. Then he started talking in great detail about how he wanted to F me up, and F my PY up, and did I like them big or small, BH? Shortly after that, he set his backpack down and started taking his clothes off. He was standing within an arm's length of me, completely blocking the door I would normally have used to get off the subway. Mind you, there were 5 or 6 other people sitting in close proximity to me during this whole ordeal, some of whom were big, capable-looking dudes that reminded me of my dad. Not one person said or did anything. The other subway car exit was clear on the other end of the car I was riding in, and I was terrified that he would follow me if I got up to leave. I was encumbered by my own big bag. Luckily, once he started to undress, the subway came to a stop, and I decided to take my chances and book it. I was fighting back a scream at that point. I have never hightailed it so quickly in my life. I feel bad, but there were some other people standing near the far door that I was aiming to leave from. On any other day, I would have let them disembark before me, but in that moment, I was so scared that I literally just shoved them all to the side and bolted onto the platform. They didn't lift a finger to help me, so I couldn't have cared less about them then. I heard shouting behind me as I ran up the stairs and glanced back in time to see the guy trying to get off the subway. He was shouting stuff like, "Where'd that BH go? Who saw her?" But by the grace of God, the doors shut in his face, and the subway moved on with him still on board. I had to take that route many more times after that, but thankfully, I never saw him again. I thought about trying to report it to subway security, but this was just after COVID, so there were exactly 0 guards in any station at the time. I think in my entire year of taking that route, I saw 1 guard total. I will never forget that feeling of being trapped in a tiny metal tube and fearing for my safety, life, while other people just kind of let it unfold. No one stopped him. No one asked if I was okay. I started wearing a bracelet with pepper spray on a keychain after that, and would hide it up my sleeve so that it was always in my hand. I had always had some in my bag, but it didn't feel like enough.